My name is Kay Bruning. I'm with Mississippi Alabama Sea Grant, and today I'll go over the basics of picking Gulf Coast blue crab. And for demonstration purposes, I've brought this tray which shows this crab already cleaned, and you end up with this for picking crabs. And this is the shell which came off the crab. This is the apron of the female crab, the apron of the male crab, and the gills of both crabs. This is the lump crab meat, the white crab meat, and the claw crab meat. And these are the claws. And having said that, I'll get started by backing a crab. First we remove the claws, and when you do so, it doesn't always work, but most of the time it will. You try to move that knuckle, this time it did, and the meat comes out with it, and you remove both of those first. And you put that meat with that white meat and reserve the claws. And then you remove the back. And this is the mouth of the crab. So you remove that. And you remove the gills. And then you remove the apron. This is a male crab. You remove that. And then what we would do, we always wash them vigorously to get them clean, like these are. But in this case, we won't have time today. But I'm going to clean another one just so you can see how we did that. I'll take a female. Again, remove the claws, remove the shell, and the guts, the mouth, the gills, and all the inner trash, and the apron. Okay, and then you're ready to pick the crab. And I'm going to do these that are cleaned already, but it's okay that they're not. And the first thing you do is we always cut them first, and we cut them in 3 parts rather than 2. A lot of people cut them in half. And another thing I failed to mention, you leave the legs on, and as you could see, it's important because you have to hold the crab when you're cutting it. And you cut towards those legs, pull it back, come and do the other one. Okay, let's do another one. And then I'll pick. And you have to have a fairly sharp knife to do this. I come from a family of, my dad was a commercial crabber, and he had 200 plus crab traps that he ran daily, and he had 6 ladies. After he cooked the crabs, they picked the crab meat, and we made stuffed crabs, and we delivered like 600 dozen, 400 dozen a week over in Biloxi. So we had a lot of ladies who knew what they were doing. So they always pick this part first, and this is where you get the lump. And you put your knife in between each section and just lift out the meat. A lot of times it doesn't come out in one piece, but a lot of times it does. And that's your lump meat. That goes there. And then you go in between each section of bone and lift out your crab. Right here, there's a small bone that you have to cut and then go in between each section. In between each section. Turn it around and do the same. Again, you have to remember to cut that bone, because if you don't, you'll have bone in your crab meat. A lot of times there's a little bit of bone in it, but most of the time you can get past that. Let's do it again. That lump. Lump crab meat is, yesterday I was in the seafood market and crab claw meat was $20 a pound, $19.99. White crab meat, which is this, was $23.99 a pound. And the lump meat was $27.99 a pound. So it's really expensive now. When I was growing up, it was not that much. It was a lot cheaper. A lot of recipes you can use crab meat in too, from cold salads to hot casseroles to any number of things. Okay, this little section here, there's one major bone that has to be cut to get to, and it's right here, to get to all that meat that's in there. And if you just cut right over that to get that bone cut, then it's easy to just go in there and slide that meat right out. I've seen a lot of people, I don't know if I can do it because I've never picked them like that, but they'll cut this bone off and then they'll squeeze that. But see, I never can do it. I can't get it to come out. It's just so much easier when you've done it all your life to do it the way we've done it. And it doesn't take long. I'll do some claws and then we'll be done. Doesn't take long. A lot of people use a rock, and this is just something my daddy gave me or left me. The ladies that picked for Daddy, they all brought their own rock. And there, that one's whole.
When we get a riot.
But this is what they look like when you do marinated crab claws, and you crack it right along here all the way, and hopefully this part of the shell will come out and this part is still in there, and that's what you come out with. Okay, that's it. All done.